It is the Defiant Ones. We're here at historic Washington Hall, and we are gearing up to talk with someone who, she's not new to Defy, but this is her second time wrestling in a singles match here at Washington Hall. Her name is Bambi Hall. How you doing?
What's up?
What's going on?
I'm good. My first match was a tag match.
Okay.
Yeah, so first singles match in Defy, so I'm pretty pumped.
That's awesome.
A little nervous, but you know. It is what it is.
But you're no stranger to Seattle. Like, you've been coming
no.
down to wrestle in Seattle for, what, like 7, 8 years now?
Has to be, yeah, like 7.
That's awesome.
For a while, it was like twice a month there for a little bit. Like, yeah.
So let's get a little backstory of like you as a wrestling, you know, as a wrestler, but also a wrestling fan. So was wrestling always a part of your life? When was your first memory of wrestling?
Oh my God. First, okay, that's an interesting question. Because like my mom used to wrestle. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah. My mom's name is Raven Lake, was her worker name. I think she started in about 91, and then she had me at 92.
Yeah.
But she was like right back at it in 93, 94 maybe.
Wow.
So yeah, she did all-star wrestling like locally in Vancouver.
Cool.
Traveled a little bit like across the border here and there, and
I had no idea.
Earliest
so
memory,
cool.
like probably like being in the ring as a child, you know, like just jumping on the ropes and like hanging out with the other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Raven Lake.
Raven Lake.
That's amazing. Are there any matches out there that we could watch?
Oh,
like
probably.
on YouTube or anything?
I mean, yeah, because when I first started, I started in 2011 maybe, and she was just like on the tail end of like her career. So we we traveled along the roads together. Like we had matches, singles matches, tag matches. Like,
did you ever get to wrestle your mom?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you beat your ass or you kick her ass?
Both ways.
Okay, cool. Wow.
I didn't do the dishes. I'd get a little bit harder, you know, whatever.
So your sister is also a wrestler, Liza Hall.
Yeah.
So did she train you guys, or did you guys go to a separate training to? My
mom was there for most of my training. I trained with All Star Wrestling, so Michelle Starr is like my main trainer. And my mom was there for like a decent amount of it, helping along. With Liza, she wasn't there as much.
Yeah. She's younger, right?
Yeah, she's 6 years, 6 years younger than I am. But my mom, she had to stop working because of like concussions and really bad like head injuries. So she was kind of just, you know, out of it at that point. You know, she didn't want to be around it too much. So I was there for a lot of like Liza's training and like helping her out and stuff like that.
Wow.
So yeah, freaking wild.
So growing up around that, that's got to be an interesting, you know, thing to like tell your friends like, hey, my mom's a wrestler and stuff. Or was it just pretty normal to you because you didn't know anything different?
See, the thing, like, so it was pretty normal for me, obviously, but like Raven had Liza maybe like 6 years after, right? So she wrestled for a little while, and then Raven ended up like leaving just to raise like me and my two sisters. She's a single mom, so working her ass off, just trying to like get food and, you know, our extra necessities. Yeah. So I don't even know where I was going with that. I totally like trailed off with my words.
Okay. So did you become a fan of wrestling also like on TV and stuff, or was it mainly just watching your mom?
TV, because like my mom took time off, so me and Liza started going to like some indie shows around, and then my mom started to tag along again, and she like got back into it, and but to be honest, I was more of a fan of like the local scene than I was of like WWF and like WWE, Impact at that time. Like I loved the indies. Like I was front row, buying tickets, buying merch.
Was this like ECCW?
I was there. Yes, correct. Yeah.
Who were your favorites?
Oh my gosh. So we got Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
Of course, like that was number one.
Did you ever get to see Bryan Danielson when he wrestled up there? Or was that around
you did?
Yeah. Awesome.
They were doing some, I think it was Supergirls shows as well. So I got to see like Kong and Natalia and like all in this tiny like little hall, like Bridgeview Hall out in Surrey. Like so random, so weird, but some of like the best times
Wow.
in my mind, you know?
So you had always been a fan of the indies growing up because, that was your first, view of what wrestling was, and then it wasn't anything new to you. It was just, this is wrestling,
It's
right?
there, yeah. Which is weird because like you'll talk to people like my coworkers or something, you're like, you wrestle?
Yeah.
Like that's a thing?
They're like, wait,
Yeah,
so you're on
man.
TV? And you're like, no. But they're like, wait, so what? Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just like a hidden world no one
Yeah.
knows about at all. It's super cool.
So you mentioned your coworkers. So I gotta ask, like, not every wrestler is a full-time wrestler, right? Some of us, I have like 5 jobs, right? So you probably have a normal job day to day. What do you do? Are you okay with mentioning what you do for a day job?
I do have a good old shoot job. Like, I pay my own rent, my own bills. I ain't got no one else doing it for me. So I just work at a brewery.
Okay.
I do shipping and receiving. Drive
I do shipping and
forklifts
receiving
around,
too.
Like,
Yeah. Okay, now you're forklift certified.
Here we go.
What a badass.
Yeah, so it's like they're super chill with days off. It's good wage, good benefits. Like,
That's cool.
I still get to wrestle and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, they come and watch me. They'll support me. So,
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a nice balance, Like,
Absolutely.
it's really good balance. Especially, I find, like, I'm kind of slowing down a little bit, Like, the last few years haven't been taking too many, like, bookings and shows. So it's kind of nice to, like, be picky and choosy and, just, like, let Liza kind of, like, grind it out and, like, watch her get those bookings and, like, excel. Like, I think that's where I really get, like, a lot of joy from, to be completely honest, is just seeing the little sister excelling as much as she is and as fast as she is.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Have you been able to wrestle your sister?
Oh, 100%.
Too? Okay.
100%. When she first started, like, we were wrestling a lot. We just finished off a feud in Vancouver at New, maybe in March. So we had like a few matches, few like multi-man matches, stuff like that, and then we finished it off with like a street fight.
Okay. Do you guys have similar styles? No.
I like old school stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm super down for old school. I also really like comedy stuff, and like I like being a powerhouse.
Yeah.
So like slamming people around, I'm down.
She's very technical.
Very. Yeah, she's very, like, grounded. She likes, technical stuff, submissions, like, so very, very opposite, which I think was well when we were, like, tagging, Yeah. Like, she'd do her thing, I do my thing. Yeah, it worked out really well.
So before you were, like, trained in, like, wrestling, did you guys wrestle each other, like, at home?
We probably did, but, like, I know when I was just starting to train, and, like, she'll bring this story up, too, which is, like, super funny. But, like, we had a futon mattress, so we just, like, set the futon mattress up on the floor. And I had a friend that was training with me at the time, too. So, like, she would come over to the house, and, like, we'd be doing sunset flips off the couch onto the futon mattress. And, like, Liza's there, like, we're practicing, like, stretches on her. Like, so, I mean, as kids, I'm sure we did, like, play fight around. But, like, definitely when I was training, I'd be trying
I
things
definitely
on her.
gave my big sister a sharpshooter, and she won't let me forget it.
It's what they're there for.
It's what you're there for. Did you ever do backyard wrestling?
No.
No, you weren't a backyard
wrestler? It was like super popular though for so long.
Yeah.
It's definitely like died down a bit, but never got into that.
Were you ever into the video games? The wrestling video? Did you ever have action figures?
No.
Okay. You didn't need to. You were already into wrestling because your mom was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So formally, around what year did you start training?
I want to say pretty much like right out of high school. So like 2011, I started training.
You always knew you wanted to do it?
It was always in the back of my mind. So I didn't always want to do it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to school, I really wanted to go to law school, but who the hell has the money for law school?
It's expensive. Yeah.
So that obviously didn't end up happening. But yeah, All-Star was like holding tryouts. And I was like, you know what?
That's cool.
I love watching this stuff. I've grown up around it. Like, let's just freaking try it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So like when I first started training, I was there probably like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Like I'd go in there by myself, just do rolls.
Wow.
And I had nothing else to do. So I was like, let's just go work on your craft,
Did you take to it pretty fast, or was it a difficult kind of ramping up?
I mean, I don't think I took to it too fast. Like, everyone starts at the bottom, right? So you're like working up. But I definitely traveled around, Like, I didn't just stay in Vancouver because there wasn't even that many women's wrestlers in Vancouver at that point. I'd say, like, Raven Lake, you had Nicole Matthews, Veronica Weiss. And then, like, women would come and go, But, like, Veronica Weiss and Nicole Matthews are like the main two that I remember watching, like when I was going around. So, yeah, like I traveled all throughout Canada. Like I was taking bookings anywhere that I possibly could just to get reps, right? Like training is only going to do so much for you. But yeah, no, I think traveling around was probably like one of the better like decisions. 100%. It just helped me like you go do like a 2-week tour and you just come back and you're crisp, you know, like your footwork's good, or you're just feeling confident, like you know what works, what doesn't work. So I think that like definitely helped me ramp up like kind of quick if I did ramp up.
So you did these tours. Were these all booked by yourself? Did you have a manager? Did you have a trainer, or did you just?
It was mainly like someone helping me out. So like a mentor, Vance Nevada. He took me under his wing, and like he had a lot of contacts, right? Like up and down Canada. So he helped me a lot with that. Once I finished training in Vancouver, I moved to Edmonton for like a good year just to go train there with someone else, you know, see like what their stuff was like. And Vance was living out in Alberta, and he would book like 2-week tours, you know, that we would go on. So it was kind of just like knowing the right people, I think, and like having my trainers have ties, or like knowing someone that's willing to take a risk on a new kid who just needs reps, right? Like, so, I mean, I would kind of take like my own bookings, but not like I do now. Like now I'm my own manager, right? Like I can pick and choose. I can go do this and that. But before it was like, no, we're going to have you do this, or you're going to go here, you know, which was fine with me. I totally didn't mind that either.
Would you recommend that to someone who's looking to, you know, get into wrestling, is to like get out there to as many different places and even train at different, you know, training facilities?
100%. Yeah. 'Cause like, you can train with the same people all the time, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to learn new things, obviously, but you're still going to be training with the same people, and like, you know how they move and whatnot. Or say if you go to like the Oregon Pro Wrestling School, you know, like Ricky Gibson and Eddie Pearl are like completely different trainers probably than Nicole Matthews and Artemis Spencer. So like if you're out in like Portland for a little while, like go do some training sessions there. Like, why not just get your mind flowing in different directions? It's not going to hurt, you know?
Who early on, you know, going from these different, you know, training schools, and then also, you know, learning to wrestle, and then also, you know, coming from a wrestling family, who is someone early on that had an impact on you, if you wanted to shout anyone out, like that maybe helped you have things click?
Like click in. Oh my goodness. I gotta think back like 10 years. I'm like, who back then? That's a really hard question. I kind of like, I'm gonna put over my mom, to be honest.
Like
as
you should. She put you over.
Like doing a lot of matches with her, or even like Nicole Matthews. Like I went and did like a reality TV show like 6 months into like being a wrestler.
Okay, wait, what?
Okay,
we got to talk about that.
I hate talking about these things.
We'll
like, I don't know. I hate putting things over. It always feels like I'm like boasting. But it was a reality show called World of Hurt. So like the first season, Lance Storm was like a trainer, and they like brought in people, and you know, you do a little show. Second
was
season.
Was this a Canada only show, or can I check it out? Is it on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah. Second season was Roddy Piper was the trainer, and that's the season that I was on.
Wow.
Fucking dope.
Yeah,
it was
dude.
so dope. Well, mind you, I'm like only 6 months in, you know, so it's like deer to headlights
friggin'
everywhere.
hot rod.
Like that's where I actually got the name Bambi. It's kind of fucked up, and it's an embarrassing story, but like I fucked something up in the ring.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You look like a deer in headlights. You look like Bambi." And I was like, "Motherfuck." Like shit. Like it's such an embarrassing story, like you fucked something up. But it's also a cool ass story. Like Roddy Piper gave me my fucking name.
Exactly. And you don't own it. You know what I mean? Like, so Hot Rod gave you your name, so that's
freaking
awesome.
wild.
So how did that show turn out?
It went good, I guess. Like, I mean, okay, they only did 2 seasons of it,
sure,
so
well,
maybe
not as
good as I thought.
Yeah.
But for me, like the experience was crazy. Like cameras all over, or like people following you around, or we would even do like a spot in the ring, and like Piper would be giving us like advice and stuff or whatever, and then like camera crew is like, "Okay, do it again." Yeah. So it's like, but wait, we just did that. He gave us the advice, so like it went fine, whatever. But do it again. So wait, what take are you gonna use here? You know. So it's definitely interesting to see like a behind the scenes of like what WWE could be like. Oh wow,
Totally.
there's all these cameras, like they're following you around, and like I don't know. I think the show went well. Like at the end of that show, we did a big show at like a little hall or whatever, but like 600 people showed up.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
like the matches were all pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Really crazy, wild experience.
So thinking back to those early years, that was only 6 months in, those early days of wrestling. What was your first match where you were like, I am proud of this? Do you have one of those?
First match. I'm proud of this. Trying to think of who I was wrestling. Actually, I'm going to put it like, I did a show at a Comic-Con, and it was versus Angelina Love.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, she obviously knows how to lead a green kid and like keep things kind of simple. But I was like, this is sick. This is so fun. Like, I'm proud of this. I did well. Like, my confidence is good. She's happy with the match. Like, I could actually do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Did that give you some confidence to like you go forward? Like, okay, let's go.
100%. Because you can get discouraged pretty easy in like this business, right? Like, especially we're our hardest like critics. Like I'm always going to be the hardest on myself. Mm-hmm. I'll watch a match that people are like, oh, that was like really good. But I'll pick every single thing out. Like, why'd you feed that way? Why'd you sell that way? It's like the littlest things ever. But like, kind of have to be like that,
Absolutely.
Oh.
So outside, we know you have a job at a brewery. You're a wrestler. You're coming from a wrestling family. What kind of stuff are you into? Are you a fan of music? Are you a gamer, anime fan? Are you a sports person? What are you into?
Might be like, I'm a sports person actually. Like I really like hockey from Canada. Okay. So who's not going to like hockey? But I really like reality TV.
Okay. Hey, you know what? It's because you were in it. You know what it's like.
Fucked up.
What are your favorite top? Okay, like give me the top 3 reality shows that people need to get into.
Oh my god. Okay.
Are you a Vanderpump?
3. No. Okay. So I like competition reality shows. So we're gonna go like. Yeah, which I just finished a season this morning.
Nice. Leo Rush was in the challenge.
Oh, okay. Didn't watch that season. Yeah. Okay. No, I really like Hell's Kitchen. Like, I'm a huge Gordon Ramsay fan. Nice. I love food. I love to cook food. Yeah. So anything Gordon Ramsay, like, I'm on it. I'm also like a Big Brother fan.
Really?
Yeah. And I know
do you subscribe to Paramount and watch all of the secret cameras that are set up?
I'm not that wild.
Okay.
I like it, but not that much.
They have like these like 24/7 streaming cameras, and you can like check in like, I want to watch cam number 5, and it tells you like viewer discretion. There might be some bad stuff happening in these cameras. So it's like straight up Truman Show.
That's crazy. I don't even think I could do a show like that though. Like 24/7 cameras just on you going. Yeah. Good Lord. What else? Survivor starts next week, so that's another one. I feel like those are all just like really popular ones. I'm also really big into like love reality shows. Okay. So I don't know. There's one. It's like Flavor Flav. He used to have a reality show.
Yes, of course. And then so did Brett Michaels. Rock of Love. One. That's a trashy early 2000s one. I love it.
There was also a girl that was on that show that also had her own reality show too. So really? I think it's like Daisy of Love or something like that. It's all stupid stuff. I'm sorry, but go check it out.
Yeah. Hey, she's putting over the reality shows. That's awesome. So, this is your chance to be back at Washington Hall with DEFY. We call our fans the Defiants. They are part of this community. It's the fans, the wrestlers, the people behind the scenes. We're all part of the Defiants. I know that you're relatively new to DEFY in the sense that this is your second match, but I'm going to ask you a really cheesy question, but what does the Defiance mean to you?
We were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, and I feel like the Defiance is a big part of what can get us acknowledgement and eyes on us, and I feel pressure coming to DEFY. I'm like, I have to perform and I have to be on top of my game. Yeah. So the Defiance encourages me. They scare me. Yeah. Y'all scare me 100%, but they encourage me because I know that they're going to be there for anybody on this card. Yep. They're going to support us. They're going to cheer for us. So, like, they mean a lot because, like I said, I'm nervous and I'm scared, but I know that they're going to be there for support.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
love it. what are your goals here in DEFY? We have a women's championship, obviously.
Man,
VORTEX.
I think my goal is just to get my foot in the door, and it's like halfway there. Like I said, prove myself to the Defiants and the people who run the show, and just show them that I'm good enough to be here.
Because you are.
Yes, I've been around Seattle for a good minute, and it's took me a minute to get to DEFY, and I'm wanting to stay. So.
Well, let's make that a thing. My last question for you is a question I ask everyone. Bit, unorthodox question, but show us if you can, but at least tell us the story. Pick a scar on your body, Bambi, and tell us the story of how you got that scar. It doesn't have to be wrestling related. It can be goofy childhood scar.
Okay, so there's just this tiny little one here, but I was playing. Am I supposed to come on up there? It's just very tiny. Very white though, so you can probably still see it. I was playing on like a little swing set in the back of someone's house, and I decided to try and like climb up on top of the swing set and like sit on the bar on the top.
Yeah.
And as I tried to get down, there's just like a bolt on the top of the swing set, and it just cut me
scraped you up
right there. Did I do it again? Nope. No, I didn't do that again.
No, damn, and it stays with her.
There we go.
Bambi Hall, thank you so much for talking with us, and welcome back to DEFY.
Hell yeah! Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.